Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be resining some of my acrylic pours. I'm going to do, well obviously this one. This one was a very recent one if you've been watching my acrylic pour videos. It has separated a little bit and got like these weird little dips into the canvas, which I think would actually go really well with resin because it creates this kind of weird dimension. I haven't used silicone in this acrylic pour, which means that I can use resin, or you can use a setting spray, which is a little bit cheaper than using resin all the time. But I just happen to have a bit of resin left over, so I'm just going to resin this up and show you the end result. If I've got any left, it will go into this massive silicone petri disc thing, and I'll just be adding to it every single time. I'm going to be mixing some of my acrylic skins in with it because I've got a whole bag of them just left over from other pours and acrylic pours, and as you can tell I have got some left over on my baking paper as well. So I'm just going to mix this last bit of solution up and then get it in. You will have to use a heat gun or hairdryer to get rid of any air bubbles when using the solution, just because, well, you don't want air bubbles in your resin. It might work with this one, but it might not work with any of the others. Normally with this resin I get about a good hour. It does sometimes stretch to an hour and a half, weather dependent, because it's been quite cold where I live. But obviously not every resin is going to be the same, so if you've got another type of resin other than mine, I would do like a test run. But obviously use it in a particular way, just to keep a little bit on the side, just to see how long it can actually be moved about and played with. It's nothing worse than thinking you've got more time and then you go, oh no. Okay, as you can see in the mixture there's quite a lot of air bubbles, which is where I've been mixing the mixture together. And how I normally do it is just kind of slowly rub it in like this, which is really nice. You can instantly see the difference between the acrylic pour and what it's going to look, well, what it's meant to, what it's going to look like when it's hopefully dried. It just really brings out all the colours, which is really nice. If you do have silicone in your mixture or have used silicone, I believe you can wipe it off with alcohol. Like there's a specific alcohol mixture you can use. Don't hold me to it because I've only done it once and I don't really tend to use resin when it comes to when I know I've used silicone in the mixture. Just because, well, it's just easier to get a setting spray and use that. Doesn't come with the same effect, but you can still see that. I'm going to put this aside and I'll bring you back for when it's dry, just to show you, or you can clearly see it before and after whilst I was putting the resin on, but it's nice to see the end result. I am going to quickly blow this with a hairdryer just to get rid of any excess air bubbles, and then just put it, cats are running around, just going to put it to one side and let it just dry for the meantime. So this is your heat gun warning. like I said, I'm just going to put this to one side, let it dry, and I'll bring you back for when it's dry the next day so we can have a proper look. I think in terms of coatage, I think only one will need to be done, but the only thing that's kind of bugging me in my head is that the fact that you've got these little divots of where the actual acrylic paint sunk in, because it was from the previous painting, and also the cracks as well. I don't know if that will interfere with it, but it's just a test run, and plus I quite like it like this. Even if it doesn't really go flat, it will go with the composition of the acrylic pour. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, it is now the next day and the resin piece has completely dried now. It's still a little bit sticky because I do find that with this resin it's still very malleable the next day, but it doesn't properly solidify until 2 days afterwards, but it's safe enough to hold as long as you don't press too hard, because otherwise you have to, like, fingerprints and stuff will actually appear in the resin. But I am really happy with this. You can see there are like some little bits of air, like pockets in that, but it's not something very noticeable because it mostly goes with the texture and the actual composition of the acrylic pour. So there's nothing really to worry about. The one thing I did have to mention is that after using a hairdryer to get rid of any air bubbles on the video, I had to do it twice more because there was a lot more of the air bubbles happening when I put it to one side. It's only for this piece. The other piece worked out fine, but it was just a bit like, oh, okay, maybe it just needs a bit more of the heat to get rid of the air bubbles. I don't know if that's because maybe somewhere in this painting or underneath the painting there has been an influence of silicone, because I didn't have a problem with the other acrylic pour, so maybe that's the reason why. In the short run, you can use the resin for the Classmates and TTS combination. I don't see why you can't use it for just the Classmates or just the TTS. I will give, which is really good. Obviously you can use a setting spray if you want to go to the cheaper approach. Not quite sure which one though, because the last one I did use was a few years ago and it was using a different type of acrylic pour, but I don't see why you can't use it, because if it can be used on resin, then I don't see why it can't be used on a normal setting spray. But yeah, I am very happy with this because it means also any leftover resin I can just put on top and use it to make it look really, well, to make it sealed and to make it look that little bit extra dimensional. You can keep on adding layers onto it, but I think I'm going to leave it like this because this really elevates the cracks and the little pinpricks of the textures within the acrylic pour. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give this video a like if you did, comment down below anything you would like to say, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I shall see you guys next time. Bye!